All right, freaks and freakettes and hippies, it's time for another Student of the Gun Radio. And welcome back. Were you gone? Did you go somewhere? How many people you think binge like Netflix?
Yeah, they probably wait until like Friday or something.
I don't know. I think it's probably you got the routine listeners, the people that are like, I have to drive 45 minutes to work every morning.
Yeah. Well, so we get a bunch of people that are do that because we get emails from them all the time.
And then you got gym bingers, people that like get on the treadmill and listen while they're on the treadmill. And give me 5 more minutes. You know you need it. Do 5 more minutes on the treadmill. And if you were taking SWAT fuel 9mm plus B, you could give me 15 more minutes or another mile. It's up to you. All right, folks. Professor Paul here at Student of the Gun Radio. Jared on the other side of the glass, Case of Emotion. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so we're going to get right into it. But before that, well, I guess it's Wednesday, so what does that mean? Well, it means it's time for SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk. And the doctor of, what are you the doctor of? I was trying to think of the
discipline.
Doctor of Discipline. There, I like that. I like that. The Doctor of Discipline, PT Jared. He's going to put his PT Jared hat on right now, and he's going to go ahead and give you your fitness talk. But before we do that, you got to bump him in with the new official fitness talk update theme. And I'd like
that is the new official SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk bump music. And we're going to bump you in with that almost every time, if not every time. This week I want to talk a little bit about dieting. And it really shouldn't be, I don't like the term diet because diet is temporary. And if you go on a diet, as soon as you stop the diet, you're going to gain back everything you lost during the diet. So don't diet. Make it a lifestyle change or something like that. I don't know what to call it because lifestyle change sounds really homo.
New habits.
Yeah, new habits. Change the way you live your life. Change the way you do stuff. When you make changes, you get results. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. You have to figure it out for your body. But I'm going to give you some general guidelines here. I've had a lot of questions about what should you eat, what should you not eat, and stuff like that. So what I'm going to tell you is you should base your diet off of the amount of protein that you need. So, and the general rule is you gain 1 gram of protein for every pound of muscle that's on your body. And how do you figure out how much muscle is on your body? It's kind of hard to do unless you go to get a BMI done or a scan of some sort. It'll tell you how much muscle you have on your body, not your total body weight. 1 gram of protein for the amount of muscle that is on your body. And obviously everybody differs. So that's a good general rule to begin planning your diet or your change in habits. That's a good general rule to base that upon. And I'll give you a little bit of extra knowledge here is stuff that you want to limit or avoid completely is wheat, for one. You don't want to have any wheat. That's got gluten in it. Gluten is bad, obviously. You know, what's the dude? I don't know what gluten is, but it must taste delicious.
John Panette.
Yeah, John Panette. John Panette. Rest in peace. Bread, like wheat, okay, bread, pasta, stuff like that, cakes. Beer is a good thing to avoid. Drink that socially if you want to, but I try to avoid it as much as I can. I drink it socially. Dairy, obviously anything white, really, except for cauliflower. Dairy, milk, cottage cheese, stuff like that. Yogurt could be good if you get the right kind, but as a general rule, stay away from anything white. Bananas, high in sugar. Grapes, watermelon, same thing. Stay away from those. Carrots, corn, and beets, also stay away from those. Any other veggies, you can eat those all day long. It doesn't matter what meal plan you have. You can eat as many vegetables as you want. If you want to feel like a man, then you have to mix your vegetables with meat, obviously. But you can eat as many vegetables as you want. And obviously, alcohol. If you're going to partake in alcoholic beverages. If you're going to drink alcoholic beverages, stick with vodka. There you go, vodka. It really sounds like I'm just trying to get you drunk and keep you away from white things. But so what I'm saying is, base your alcoholic beverage, vodka, and lots of protein. So take that and run with it.
Is my microphone on?
Yep, it's on.
Okay, I was just behaving as if my microphone was muted. I wasn't saying anything. You said basically it sounds like you're Kobe Bryant over there.
Yeah.
You're trying to get him drunk and keep him away from white things.
Yep.
But whatever, whatever works for you. And I am not PT Jared, so I'm not qualified to speak on these things. However, he is. So, I guess my question to you, though, Jared, is when you said that the grams versus the pounds or muscle.
1 gram of protein.
You need to eat 1 gram of protein?
Yeah, partake in usually protein shakes, or obviously meat has protein in it. Peanut butter also has protein.
Yeah, but doesn't conventional peanut butter also have a lot of that, what are they making it out of? It's not sugar, but it's like high fructose corn syrup and stuff like that.
You gotta watch what you buy, obviously. Don't buy the 99-cent peanut butter. If you're trying to make a change with your body, you need to buy the quality ingredients.
But that stuff's expensive. It's easier to eat like the cheap stuff.
It is. Well, you got to make sacrifices. I bet if you sold your Xbox, you'd have a whole month's worth of food.
Sold my Xbox?
Yeah. Sell your games.
Oh,
if you sell your Xbox,
person.
You won't have to sit in front of the TV for hours a day or whatever you do, even a couple hours a night. You could go work out instead of doing that.
What do I do if it's raining, though? I can't go outside. I don't know what to do.
It ain't raining if it ain't raining.
Really? I hate that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that as a Marine, as someone who is infantry, I despise if it ain't raining, we ain't training. Yes, we do. We train in the heat. We train in the sun. We train in the snow. We train in the fog.
I didn't say if it's not raining, we're not training. I said if it's not raining, we're...
I know.
Yeah.
I know. No. Believe me, I come from the camp where every time you're... All right, folks, dudes, I know there's not all of you, but some of you dudes are out there. You're with me. You're like, there's always the one jerkwad when you fall out into formation and you're standing out there and it's raining, or you get to the field or you get to the range and it starts raining, and there's always one jerkwad who thinks he's original. There's always one dude who thinks that he's going to spout off the most original thing that's ever said, and he says, well, you know what they say, if it ain't raining, you ain't training. Shut up. I want to punch that guy. Dude, and you're with me, aren't you? Yeah, you're with me. You guys out there, you're like, yeah, there's always or it's it's not the heat, it's the humidity. No, it's also the fact that it's 105. Now, I will go ahead and give you this. If you're in Arizona at high elevation, it actually is the humidity, because you can go to someplace like Gunsight. I've been at Gunsight in the high desert, and it'd be 90, and your skin turns red. You get hot, but you don't sweat. But down here, if it's 90 in Biloxi in the jungle, so I'll give you that. I will give you that. But we don't want to talk about weather. We don't want to talk about rain, because, quite frankly, we had enough. We had 5 days. I was getting ready to build an ark. I was buying lumber to make an ark. I just walked around behind the building, Jared, and you know how when water comes up and then it recedes and it leaves all the sludge and funk and stuff behind, do you realize it was all the way up to the back of the building?
Oh, was it really?
Because it's receded now, and just all that funk is in there. I was down by the Mississippi River yesterday. I was in Louisiana yesterday, over in Baton Rouge, and all of you geographically inclined people know that the Mississippi River runs right by past Baton Rouge. And I noticed that not only was the river high, but it's full of debris. There was all kinds of tree limbs and crap floating down the Mississippi River. That's all the snow's melting up north, and all that stuff is flowing into the river, and it's all going down. It'll be deposited in the Gulf of Mexico. But we're not going to talk about that either. What are we going to talk about, Jared? What's first up on the agenda?
We got dieting. It says dieting.
Yeah, we talked about dieting.
Did you write that?
Yeah. And the thing is, and the reason I wrote that is because when people say the word diet, they actually, the original word diet is what do you take into your body. Like when you say the average diet of the, South American wallaby or whatever is X. But Americans took the word diet and they turned it into a verb. Normally you'd say, the elephant eats grass and what have you. So diet doesn't necessarily have to be a pejorative. It's like, I'm gonna cut down and whatever. Diet is just what you consume. Every human being has a diet. Doesn't mean you're dieting, but the diet is what you consume. My diet consists of water and copious amounts of coffee in the morning, things of that nature, In the evening, Johnny Walker Black, sometimes double black, and if a friend is over, sometimes gold or platinum, hint, hint, that kind of thing. That's what consists of your diet. But we're not going to talk about any of that stuff anymore because, dudes and dudettes, you guys want to talk about sandwich makers. We haven't talked about sandwich makers in a long time, and I think it's time. But it's not just a sandwich maker update theme. It's a Texas update theme, and this is our special one. Well, thank you, Blackie Lawless and Wasp, for that blinding Texas update theme. And this story comes to us from Breitbart.com. And what does Breitbart.com have to say? Well, it says, Texas senators ignoring mom's demand action and passing campus carry. This kind of dovetails into last week's story about how they were freaking out. The new freak out is we can't allow people to carry concealed weapons on campus because it will cost us too much money. And it's going to...
You can't put a price on the life of a child.
That's right, unless you go to Planned Parenthood and the life of a child is, $300, and they vacuum it out. Ooh, you shouldn't have said that. That's true. All right, Texas is on the verge of leveling the playing field for women and ignoring the demands of Shannon Watts, the supreme sandwich maker, and her Moms Demand Action and her group, Moms Demand More Bedroom Action across America.
Did you see that somebody was using the hashtag MDMBA?
More bedroom action?
Yeah.
Well, apparently Shannon's still not getting enough of it.
She's probably getting none.
You know what I think? I think she just takes Nanny Bloomberg's money and throws it on the bed and rolls around in Nanny Bloomberg's money. I think that's what I envision her doing. But anyway,
I don't envision her at all.
Well, if I had to, that's what I would do. So anyway, it says they're ignoring the sandwich makers by passing legislation to allow women to carry a handgun, not just women, but women included, concealed on campus for self-defense. It says, according to the story as it continues, Shannon Watts, Moms Demand More Bedroom Action, and the Every Town for Subservience, that's another Nanny Bloomberg, Any Town for Slavery, have been outspoken critics of the national move towards recognizing a woman's Second Amendment rights on college campuses, or CAMPI, in the same way that they're recognized in a Walmart, a gas station, a mall, or so forth. So essentially, women are saying I can go into this restaurant, to Walmart, into the mall, wherever, and I can have my gun on me, and I'm perfectly safe, and I don't shoot myself or anyone else negligently. But the moment I cross the invisible line and walk onto the college campus, then I become a blithering idiot, and I can no longer be trusted. According to Vice magazine, campus carry is expected to clear the Texas State Senate next week, and this story was datelined 12 March, so that would be this week. And and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has promised to expedite the passage. Governor Greg Abbott has already made it clear that he will sign the legislation once it gets to his desk. Oh, they hate that. Oh, they got to be hating that. The campus carry bill is headed for a vote in Texas in the 8th state and will make Texas the 8th state to allow guns to be carried on campus for self-defense. Moreover, it will put Texas in the same category as Utah, inasmuch as the new law will bar public universities from putting any limits on where people can take their guns.
Good.
Students for Concealed Carry Southwest Regional Director Madison Welsh says, Our push to legalize campus carry is about ensuring that trained, licensed, carefully screened adults are allowed the same measure of personal protection on a college campus as they are virtually everywhere else. And amen. And anything that gets the sandwich makers' panties all twisted up is, in my opinion, a good thing. What do you think, Jared?
I try not to think because it hurts my brain.
Does it hurt your brain?
Yeah.
It hurts your brain.
But yes, I do agree with that. And I agree with people that aren't licensed carrying the firearms, but that's a different
story altogether. That's true. Well, what I'm thinking over here is that it's really too bad that now that they're not going to be able to fund cancer research anymore, because according to Shannon and Every Town for Slavery, that it's going to cost $47 bajillion to implement concealed. How do you? Someone riddle me this, Batman. I'm sitting here on the bench. I'm sitting here on the Group W bench, playing with my pencils, trying to figure out how it costs any money to implement concealed carry on campuses.
Well, I don't think it should cost any. Sorry, I was messing with the dude that listens to us in double the speed. He emailed me and he's like, you guys sound kind of weird in like 1.5 speed. So there you go. I sounded normal then fast.
Are you on the treadmill and you're trying to go faster?
Yeah. But anyway,
go faster, go faster, go faster, go faster, go faster.
I don't even remember what I was going to say now. What did you say?
No, I want to know. I'm sitting here on the Group W bench trying to figure out how it costs $1 to allow people who already have concealed carry permits, who can already legally carry guns, how it costs money to allow them to do anything.
It doesn't. It costs the people to. It would actually be cheaper because you could let some security personnel that you pay go.
Or, no, I'm not even talking about that. Or you could stop paying money to have those stupid signs printed up.
Oh, there you go.
What are those signs, like $50, $100 a piece, something?
No, they're probably like 20.
Okay. All right, let's just say that you have that one of your no guns allowed signs costs $20, right? And you put them up on every entrance of every building, so you spend 100 of them. What's 100, that's $2,000, man. You just saved yourself $2,000. But you think, Jared, here, look at me. You forget that signs don't hang themselves. You have to pay a unionized worker $24 an hour to hang up the sign. And you don't just hang up a sign in like 5 minutes. I mean, you got to make sure that that the job is done right. You got to
you got to walk all the way across the school.
You got to measure it out.
Yeah, it's centered on the door.
Putting up these signs,
people.
it's not cheap, man. It probably costs $200 per sign to have someone install it. They probably actually have to have two people install it. One guy to stand back and supervise, and the other guy to actually secure it to the building.
Yeah, you know how state jobs go.
Oh yeah, I mean, if they're working for a state university, 5 washers. Oh yeah. So we're getting letters. Those guys are. Let me tell you something, buddy. You don't know.
Sorry, if I'm getting a letter from you, you obviously have time.
Yeah, you obviously have time. So you're obviously on your union.
You're leaning on your shovel.
They're on their union mandated break, and they're on their iPhone sending you a nasty letter right now.
Yeah.
All right, shut up. But yesterday, I was on a college campi yesterday, Jared. I drove through one, and there was a big yellow. The base of the sign was yellow, and then in red on it, it had a picture of the silhouette of a gun, and it says, "You are now entering a firearms-free zone."
So the firearms are free?
I was looking for people
maybe I should go there
to give me free firearms, and I wasn't able to find anyone. And let me tell you, have you ever been around a state university?
Yeah,
it's state campus. The areas that surround state universities, Jared, would you say that most of the population centers that are around the outside of the state college or the university that they're
like DMZs?
Yeah, they places that you'd want to walk at night unarmed?
No.
I wouldn't want to walk anywhere unarmed.
I wouldn't walk anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But would you say that there's a higher than average chance of getting robbed? I had to drive through these DMZs to get to this college campus yesterday. And you're like, what were you doing on the campus? None of your business. That's what I was doing on campus. No, but seriously, I saw that, and I was like, all right. I disciplined myself. I wanted you to know that I disciplined myself. I didn't say anything to the people that were in the truck with me because they're all my family and they know what I had to say. But it just
You didn't say anything?
Nope. I saw the sign and I was like,
cow.
or maybe I didn't see the sign.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never seen those signs in my life.
Maybe
I don't even know what
see
hanging
the
up
sign.
what signs? What?
Somebody said this to me the other day. They're like, well, there's a sign in that store. I'm like, what? I've never seen that sign. Well, and they're like, no, it's right there. I'm like, I
still don't see it.
Still have never seen it. I love the ones that, and all of you folks that like to be smarter than the average bear, you know, like in Ohio, Mississippi, and I'm sure everywhere where they've given the businesses the latitude to put up the "Thou shalt not enter here with your evil concealed carry," weapon. Well, those signs can't just be any sign. Now, some people are like, oh, if it says you're not allowed to have a gun, then that's what it means. You're not allowed to have a gun. And, well, the state, even hippie liberal legislators, they know that you have to have a standard, right? You could have someone, like, write no guns on a postage stamp and stick it in the corner, and someone walks in, they're like, you violated the law. And they can't have cops arresting people for violating, the law. And I'm pretty sure it has to be in English, although maybe they need to start putting it in Farsi or something. But yeah, in Mississippi, in order for one of those no gun signs to be basically legal or to be enforceable, it has to meet a certain standard and a certain criteria, and it has to have certain verbiage on it, and it has to be placed within so many feet of the primary entrance to the building.
With the signs, all they can do is ask you to leave.
Yeah, they just,
you're going to get,
and
they can't arrest you
if you refuse to leave. And this is the way 99% of all of the things. If they ask you to leave and you refuse to leave, then it becomes a trespassing issue. Then you can be arrested. Blah 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 blah. If you're concealed carrying, I don't understand what the deal is. Well, where everyone crap their pants down here. Can I say crap their pants on the radio?
Yeah.
I guess I already did. The way they had to change all these like store owners are like changing out their Depends because, and we've already been down the open carry road here. But someone told me, and a lot of these hotels and nice places, well, they don't want to just put up a generic sign because it doesn't match with the decor of the building. So what they do is they go out and they commission people to make shiny brass placards and or silver and black or gold and black or whatever, and they make these fancy placards that match the decor of the building, and then they mount them on the building. And I'm glad that they went out and spent $287 on that really nice brass placard, but it doesn't mean anything as far as the law is concerned.
So, speaking of hotels and stuff.
Well, let's speak of hotels and stuff. We have time.
All of you guys who sent me an email or info at Student of the Gun an email about the Beyond the Band-Aid class.
Oh, the upcoming class in May, yeah.
We are having a Beyond the Band-Aid class in May 30th and 31st, I believe. Right?
Yes, that is correct.
And all of you guys who sent me an email said that you were interested. And girls. You ladies and gentlemen who sent me an email said you were interested. You should have received your official Beyond the Band-Aid class invitation. So check your email addresses. If you didn't receive one, shoot me an email, Jared, Jarrad, at studentofthegun.com, and I will get you your invitation. The class is limited to 10 people, and it's filling up rather quickly, so act now.
Yeah, if you want to get in there now, the time is now.
No, but on a serious note, I want to meet you guys, so come on, come down here.
All right. Well, rock on, brother.
Oh.
We have a nice air-conditioned building for you to come in. And you can hang out, and you can go to the casinos. You can go down to the Gulf Coast, and you could look at the water and all that jazz.
You can bring your wife and kids or not, either one.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of meetups and all that jazz, I just dropped this in the show notes. Don't forget, folks, that the NRA annual meeting is coming up. As you hear this, it's actually less than 1 month away. And it is in Nashville. And it's April 10th, 11th, and 12th at the, Nashville Civic Center or Nashville Auditorium or whatever. Just go to NRA Annual Meeting on your Google machine, and you'll be able to find it. But if you guys are going to be there, let us know. Some of you have already dropped. I told you, was it last week? If you're going to be there, drop a little Facebook or a little Twitter or a little whatever and just tag us and say NRA yes. And a couple of you have already done that, and that is cool. But, yeah, if you guys are going to be there, we are going to be there. We're going to have, don't forget, we're going to have stickers in our pockets. And anybody who's wearing an officially sanctioned Student of the Gun apparel, and that would be the shirt, the Student of the Gun T-shirts, the Patriot Fire Team T-shirts, and when they become available, we're going to do the AFU ones, Jared? Why not?
Yeah,
we're
AFU.
generous.
That's going to be announced this week, this Friday. The grad program members will get a special discount code for those shirts.
This coming Friday?
This coming Friday.
Ah, that's right. That's right. And we got oh, crap, I almost forgot. We got a special guest coming up this Friday, and we hinted at it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
During the letter that we got the real Triple B, Bob.
Well, I think we talked about it yesterday.
Did we talk about it on the radio?
I don't remember.
I know that we put it.
Yeah, because I remember telling them that we basically mapped out the path that they needed to take in
that
their
wasn't
local
yesterday.
Communities.
That probably was Monday, and today's Wednesday.
Oh, today's Wednesday.
Yep.
Wow.
Look at your show notes, hippie. But anyway, so long story short, if you're wearing an officially sanctioned shirt and you run into us, we run into you, we're going to give you just to thank you. We're going to give you a sticker, and you should do it anyway. What the heck? All right, enough nonsense. Let's get to not enough nonsense. We got more nonsense to talk about. But before we talk about more nonsense, we want to remind you about Velocity Triggers, our good friends at velocitytriggers.com. If you have a black rifle, they've got a trigger for you. Check them out. And Brownells, brownells.com. If you have a gun, even if you don't have a gun, if you're thinking about buying a gun, they've got something for you at brownells.com. If you want some extra food, a blanket,
I was about to say,
emergency blanket, shelter, water filters, whatever, it's at brownells.com.
You want to go ahead, speaking of survival stuff, do you want to announce the Grid Down Survival Guide thing? Here's the deal.
Sure.
I'm going to announce it right now. We've only got about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've only got 24 copies of this Grid Down Survival book that Dad wrote. We have 24, and that is it. We're going to autograph these copies, and we're going to put them up for sale.
Okay, and that is, but it's not just Grid Down Survival. It's, what else? It's the small arms.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently I didn't know this.
Go over there and pick one up, you crazy hippie.
Yeah, I didn't read it. So
all right, walk over. Jared's going to put his headphones down, and he's walking through the studio, and he's walking over to the shelf, and he's picking up one of the books. We opened the box, and we put them on the shelf yesterday. Yesterday, we opened up the box, we put them on the shelves, and the title of the book by me is...
it's Grid Down Survival Guide to Small Arms.
The Grid Down Survival Guide to Small Arms. And the Grid Down Survival Guides, there's actually 4 of them. There's 4 books in the series, and the one that I wrote is book number 2, or yours truly, or Professor Paul, or whatever you want to say. So anyway, long story short, what Jared is essentially telling you is the only place that you can get a personalized copy is from Jared. Or, well, not from Jared, but you know. You get the deal.
I am authorizing this.
He's authorizing.
So this is, I'm going to kind of give them the contents. I haven't read this yet. Maybe I should pick one up and read it before they all get sold. It says, you got real world scenario, Hurricane Katrina, handguns, ammunition, shotguns, shotgun ammunition. Real world scenario, LA riots, rifles, rifle ammunition. Real world scenario, American Civil War, edged weapons. Another real world scenario, edged weapons in Hurricane Katrina, less than lethal and practical gear, and then it gives you a summary. So that's what it covers. That's actually pretty cool.
Well, I'm thank you for saying so, son.
Do you have one that I can read? Because I don't want to read one of these and then.
I probably.
Okay.
Anyway, like we said, if you want to get a personalized copy and
there's going to be 24 autographed copies in the whole entire world. So if you want one,
at least for right now, okay. All right, and that's going to be something that's coming up if you didn't see it. Jared, is it time to take off? I'm pretty sure that it is, but you tell me.
It is time to take off.
Thank you, Geddy Lee, for helping us take off to the Great White North. And this story comes to us from globalnews.ca/news. Toronto police officer attacked with hammer. What? Now, hang on a second. Now, hold it just a bit here. I don't know what that's all about. But it says, Toronto, a man armed with a knife and a hammer, stop, hammer time, walked into the Toronto police station Friday afternoon, and this is last Friday as you're hearing this, and attacked an officer Norman Badrea, 41, of Brampton, was arrested and is facing 7 charges. I like 7. Not 9, but 7, including attempted murder. Police allege he entered the front lobby of 31 Division in the area of Jane and Finch around 4 p.m. Friday and began swinging a hammer at the head of an officer. The officer avoided the blow, but was grazed on the head by the hammer. The officer, along with the second officer who assisted in arresting the man, were treated for minor injuries and released. Badrea is due to appear in court on March 19th. Now, hang on just a tick. I thought if we had enough gun control that there would be no violence. Is that not the story that we're sold? Is that we need more gun control to prevent violent behavior? Because if people don't have access to guns, well, then there'll be no violence. Right? And you're saying to me, but Paul, if someone is a violent person, if they're a criminal, if they're a psycho, if they're a nut job, if they just, were raised poorly or in the religion of peace and brotherhood, then they can attack you with anything they can get their hands on. Maybe we need more hammer control, Jared. Don't be a slammer, ban your hammer.
No, I said death has no glamour, ban that hammer.
Oh, wow. You did say that, and I'm glad that you accepted the responsibility for that quote.
Yep, it doesn't. It has no glamour.
It has no glamour. Ban that hammer. Did you know, Jared, that 9 out of 10 hammer injuries occur when using your own hammer?
Is it? Are they high? Okay, so the extended ones, or is that like a high capacity handle?
I don't know, but studies have shown that 9 of 10 hammer-related injuries occur while using your own hammer.
So a sledgehammer is an assault hammer.
Well, what I'm thinking,
and a ball peen is like a.
What I'm thinking is this: it's a specialty hammer. What I'm thinking is this, Jared: if 9 of 10 hammer-related injuries occur when using your own hammer, what you should do is borrow a hammer from someone else who has a map, and then you'll be less likely to be injured because it won't be your hammer.
Yeah.
Or perhaps maybe they could come up in Toronto with a hammer amnesty program.
A hamnesty
where you can go into, let me see, what is this? You can walk into 31 Division at Jane and Finch, and you can surrender your hammer just because it's the right thing to do.
And they'll just chop it up and
they'll melt it down, and they'll make it into paperweights or something. But, folks, why risk it? Why risk it? Do you have hammers laying around your house? Do you know that someone could take one of those hammers and attack a police officer? This is serious. If it saves one child's life, I think it'll be worth it. Don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Notice how they said that the whole story is about him attacking these guys with the hammer, but they said he was armed with a hammer and a knife in the opening. A man armed with a knife and a hammer walked into a trunk, but it doesn't say anything about him slashing or cutting at people. So he might have had it in his pocket or something. They're like, oh, we got to throw the word knife in there too because that makes it really scary. Oh, well, you know that they're not all about the guns up there in Canada, eh? And that guns are super scary, and the more guns lead to violence. We all understand this, right? I mean, it just goes without saying. If you can get rid of the guns, then there will be no more violence. So they're really trying hard. They're trying hard up in Canada to basically criminalize all ownership of firearms by citizens. By what, Jared? By civilians. Can't allow them civilians to have guns. And this story comes to us from Canadian Lawyer Mag. And I'm sure that's probably magazine, not something you put in a firearm. Because in Canada it would be Canadian Lawyer Clip, probably, don't you think? CanadianLawyerMag.com/legal fees. Conditional sentence for gun crime not appropriate, says judge. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just dive right in here. A 65-year-old businessman with health issues and no prior criminal records has been sentenced to 21 months in jail for, quote, the illegal possession of a loaded handgun that was, where was it? Was he in the Toronto police station? No. The illegal possession of the gun occurred when he loaded it and put it in a dresser drawer in his bedroom in a Toronto area home. Okay.
Oh, man. Did you read the quote from the judge?
Yes, and I'm getting to that.
Okay.
The Ontario Superior Court Justice Ken Campbell agreed that there were mitigating circumstances. However, and to mitigate means to lessen, okay, or to alter, or to reconsider. But anyway, he concluded that the conditional sentence would be inappropriate, And this is a quote from Campbell. It says, "The important message must be sent to the public that whatever their reasons, individuals must not unlawfully arm themselves with dangerous loaded firearms, or they will face serious custodial circumstances." Serious custodial circumstances. Does that mean they're going to make them mop the whole prison?
Custodial. That's funny.
Oh, you're dumb.
The other
you're
quote,
a big dummy.
The quote that I was talking about was a caption on the photo. It says, this is a quote from the judge: "The criminal possession of handguns remains an all too prevalent threat to the people of Toronto." The criminal possession, not the possession, not criminals possessing handguns.
No, he's not really worried about criminals. Dude, don't you know? Actual, real criminals? Now, here's the deal. This is what happens in Canada. You go schizo, and you take a knife, and you cut someone's head off on a bus, on a Greyhound bus, or whatever kind of bus you want to be on. I don't know. And sooner or later, there'll be a psychiatrist that comes out and says, yeah, I understand that little Jimmy went schizo and cut that dude's head off, but he's been taking his meds, and he's been performing admirably. I think what we need to do now is just ease little Jimmy back into society, because he only decapitated that guy. Or, like the previous story we gave you, apparently it's hip to cut people's heads off in Canada because it seems to be happening a lot. Little Jimmy Psycho cuts his mother's head off, and he's given a day pass to go watch the Blue Jays play. And he just forgets to come back. But what did they tell us, Jared, when the schizo that cut his mom's head off and they gave him a day pass and he forgot to come back? They said, oh, he doesn't, he's dangerous, but he doesn't present a risk to the public at large. How does that work? So you take a murderer who apparently was able to work themselves up to chopping someone's head off with a knife, and then you let him out amongst the public, but you say, well, he doesn't necessarily pose a threat to you, but let me tell you who does pose a threat to the people of Canada. It would be Mr. Peter Beausoleil. It's Boussoulas, Beausoleil or something. Peter Beausoleil has a gun loaded in a bedroom dresser in his home in Toronto, and that in and of itself. Now, he didn't, you know what Peter Beausoleil needs to do, Jared? If he wants to get out of this whole, get around this whole, having a loaded gun in your house, he needs to cut someone's head off with a knife, and then within a year or two, there'll be psychiatrists lining up to offer him clemency and to explain his behavior. And as long as he takes his meds and promises to be good, heck, he could get a day pass. He could be out walking around. He'd go to Winnipeg or Manitoba or Saskatoon, just hang out with the folks, catch a hockey game maybe do a little bit of curling. What do you think? I think that you people up in Canada, that your brains are frozen, and I feel sorry for you because you don't have a constitution. And ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, I know there's one of you out there, and there might be two, that are saying, Paul, why are you telling us about Canada? I don't live in Canada. I don't care. I don't want to live in Canada. You need to pay attention because this is the plan. This is the playbook that John Kerry and Dianna Feinstein and all the other liberal elitists, Danelle Malloy, or D-Nell. I think we're just going to call him D-Nell from now on. D-Nell and Kumo and all the liberal elitists. That's the plan for here. That's what they want to happen here, that you just need to be reasonable for the sake of the children and allow us to tell you how and when and why. That is exactly the plan for here. And if you don't stop it now, it's going to happen. It's not going to go away. This problem isn't just going to solve itself. Oh, so I think Danelle and Kumo are going to get together and say, oh, and their Nanny Bloomberg, they'll get in a room, they'll say, all this anti-gun slavery stuff that we were proposing, we just don't want to do that anymore. We just changed our minds. No, because it's not really even about guns. It's about controlling the peasantry. That's it. And in Danelle and Kumo and all the other elitist minds, you are the peasantry, and you need to just shut up, pay your taxes, and go out into the factories and the fields and work, because your masters have stuff that they need. Your masters up in D.C., they need the good stuff. They need the food, they need the wine, they need the booze, they need the smokes. They need you peasants to make it for them. So shut up, we're going to take your guns, get out in the field, and get to work. And if you think I'm wrong, well, you need to listen louder.
Speaking of listening louder, I'm going to go ahead and cue up this awesome music right here, and I want to make an announcement. Another announcement. This is like the episode of announcements.
Now, stay with us. Don't tell them not to turn off their radios yet.
Yeah, don't turn them off yet. Because on, March 27th, we're going to have Dave Bray, the lead singer of Madison Rising, on for the grad program members. We're going to do an interview.
Exclusive interview with David Bray of Madison Rising.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Interview with David Bray of Madison Rising. We're going to talk about patriotism and kind of how Madison Rising started, etc.
Badass rock and roll music, all that stuff. You don't want to miss it. And that's in 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's a week and a half. A week from this Friday.
All right, a week from this coming Friday. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, dip, 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 dip. That's all we got for you now. Tomorrow's going to be Thursday, and I bet you we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some stuff. What do you think, Jared? Should we come back tomorrow and talk about more stuff?
I think we should definitely come back tomorrow.
I think we should. I think there's going to be stuff that we need to talk about.
And before we do that, in the meantime, you listening to my voice, if you can hear me, go to studentofthegun.com and enter your email address in there. We'll give you all the updates. All the updates, all the cool stuff. And if you don't have the mobile app yet, shame on you. What are you waiting for? It's free. You know you have a Google Play or an iTunes on your phone or your iPad. Just type in Student of the Gun, download the mobile app, call it good. You'll have Student of the Gun at your fingertips everywhere you go. Sitting on the bus, hanging out on the treadmill, doing whatever you need to do. There's Student of the Gun right there with you. All right, turkeys, that's enough vamping for today. Remember, you're a beginner once, but what should you always be? Well, of course, a student of the gun.